Hi guys, my name's Matt, this is the Vid Files, and we're talking about Noah today in a casual movie review, which means there's going to be no pressure on anyone except for me. And Noah came out on DVD yesterday, so we're going to talk about the DVD first. How is the DVD? And why the hell haven't I got it with me? Because my grandma stole it 5 seconds ago to go watch it. Now I'm going to talk about it as in replay value. Now the DVD, first off, the DVD cup, the disc, feels nice. It feels heavenly. Get it? Of course you do. It feels really different from an ordinary DVD, probably because it might be made of a different material or something. I'm not an expert on DVD, so yes. And the downside to the DVD is it's got your basics. It's got, you can play the movie, you've got your setup, subtitles, audio levels, all that cool stuff, and you've got your scene selection, where do you want to start the movie from? That's what you've got. There are no special features in the slightest, no interviews, sorry, expert, that was kind of rude of me, no deleted scenes, which I just find weird. You're not going to interview the director, Darren Aronofsky, I think that's how you pronounce his name. I have no idea, because I am an idiot. And that's pretty much the DVD, nothing much to talk about on it. Now we're going to talk about the actual movie. How is the actual movie? Well, Noah stars 3 people who I actually know, which is Russell Crowe, Emma Watson, she played Hermione in Harry Potter, and Anthony Hopkins, and all 3 of those people are pretty godlike in my opinion. Russell Crowe for his magnificent beard, which is in every movie he's ever been in, and should be, that's the main star of all those movies. Emma Watson for obvious reasons, and Anthony Hopkins because, well, he plays Odin in the 4 movies. The god of all gods. That's pretty badass. And what I really liked about Noah is it's really realistic. It's pretty dark as well. Trust me, they are not going to show this in Sunday school worship. People die pretty brutally in this movie. You know how during kindergarten when they tell you about Noah's Ark and like, oh yes, God decided to cleanse the world, send a massive flood down, and some part of your mind is pretty much like, does that mean he just killed everyone? But then you just see all the little toy animals and the little toy boat, you're like, forgotten, never mind. Oh, look at a nice little giraffe right there. Yeah, this isn't like that. This movie, well, people die pretty brutally. I mean, when the flood happens, they're all climbing on top of each other, trying to get to safety, which would suck if you're the bottom person. How does anyone agree to be on top of that pile, I wonder? How does that work? They're like, okay, everybody, climb on top of me! Yeah, do it, friends! Do it! And then he die, obviously, because probably all the weight crushes down. And anyway, so, yeah, it's pretty realistic. You're not really going to want to show this to your kid, and it's a 12 rating. Probably PG-13. I don't know. It doesn't say on the cover. It just says 12. Probably should be a 15 when I think about it. And what I really liked about Noah is it creates the world. I mean, this is how I'm going to describe the movie. Lord of the Rings meets the Bible meets a bit of Game of Thrones. Does that not sound epic already? I mean, yeah, if you are a religious person who is die-hard about it and doesn't like anything being changed in the slightest, you will probably not like this movie. However, if you like good movies, you will like this movie. And here's why. It creates a world. I mean, yeah, the opening, it's pretty much like Lord of the Rings, in Fellowship of the Ring, when you have Galadriel, the elf, talking about the history of the world. It's like, Sauron had the great rings of power. It's like that, except it's like the creator created the world in 7 days. Then Adam and Eve ate the forbidden fruit, and then Cain killed it was really cool like that. I really liked it, and I found it interesting. It's like, let's forget if any of this is real. I'm not saying it's not real, for all you Christian watchers out there. But let's just pretend this is a fictional world we're creating here. And let's just have fun with it, and it's a good movie. what I really liked was Russell Crowe as Noah. Noah in this film is a badass. He kills people, but he's like John McClane, you know, from Die Hard, but not John McClane. But the only real problem is Russell Crowe does a good job as him, but I just couldn't really relate to him. There was this one point during the movie where I was like, Jesus Christ, no, can't say that on this review. Jeez, Noah, you're kind of an asshole. Because he did a few things, I'm like, Noah, you're an asshole. But then later in the movie he says, yeah, I'm sorry about that thing I did. And I said, okay, I'll let you off for that one, but if you leave me to die, I'm probably not going to forgive you. I really did enjoy this movie, and my favourite obvious part of the movie was when the river scene happened, and it's just showing different photographs of a river just travelling across the world, going probably thousands of miles. You can see different times of the day, the sky's changing. It looked really cool. I was like, that is impressive right there. But alas, Noah is not a perfect movie. The villain in this movie, well, all the actors do a good job in this movie, but the villain in this movie, I feel if you take him out, if he dies when the flood happens, yeah, spoilers, a flood does happen. In case you didn't know, a flood happens in this movie. Well, your religion teachers kind of failed you a bit. Anyway, if you take the villain out of this movie, the movie won't really be changed much, except you wouldn't really get a fight scene at the end. I mean, arguably the director could say, oh yes, I had the villain in there to add a bit more tension towards the end, but I just feel like if he had been taken out, it still would have been pretty tense towards the end due to events that are happening. I'm trying not to spoil it here, although I already spoiled a flood happens. And what I also didn't like was some of the special effects and CGI don't look the best. I mean, some of the rock creatures, yes, there are gigantic rock creatures. This is why it's like Lord of the Rings. But these rock creatures, they're kind of like the Ents from Lord of the Rings, which I've mentioned about 5 times now. But yeah, they are like they're like Treebeard. You know, they're walking around smashing people because they're gigantic, but they're not completely immortal. And they don't look the best. You know, they don't look realistic when they move. I mean, I know this is supposed to be a fictional world, but yeah, they don't look that real. And the people as a species, the people that we belong to in this movie, are all kind of assholes, to be honest. I mean, apparently they're all evil, but then we see a few that are good, but then they die. So the only good people are apparently Noah. So what you're saying throughout the whole movie is that every single person on the planet is evil and deserves to die and has no moral problems with what the rest of the species is doing, except for Noah and his family. I don't buy that in the slightest. I mean, in nearly everything, there's always like one person who's like, I don't think this is right. I'm pretty sure in Star Wars, a few stormtroopers had a bad feeling about this. That's a reference, by the way. And the movie spans 10 years pretty damn quickly. I didn't even know that 10 years had gone by until Anthony Hopkins said to Emma Watson, oh yes, you've been part of this family for 10 years now. And the thing with that is, the characters age really, really quickly and radically. I mean, there's this one guy, he was probably about 8 when the movie started. By the end, he's about 18, he looks like he's about 30 because he's got a massive beard, really long hair, looks like, yeah, he's about 18. So Noah is a good movie. Personally, I kind of enjoyed it a bit more than Planet of the Apes, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, which you saw a few weeks back, probably last week. Yeah, it's good. So Noah gets a 7.5 out of 10 because I enjoyed it a bit more, but not completely more. So Noah, what do you think about it? It's pretty epic, and I would like to see Darren Aronofsky, that's what I'm just going to call him. I'd personally like to see Aronofsky direct more Bible films, because they're really cool, and they're not over preachy. Okay? My name is Matt, and this is The Vid Fight.